Hi, my name is Courtney. Thank you so much for joining me here today. So this video will be a barre inspired workout, and for me barre it's a little bit of ballet, it's a little bit of Pilates, a little bit of yoga, a little bit of aerobics. It's pretty much whatever. So we're just gonna have some fun with it. There'll be a little bit of core, cardio, and legs. So we'll do a little tiny bit of a warm-up, but if you want to do some like shoulder, leg warm-up, you can just have a little dance party, get your heart rate up. You can go on and do that on your own, and then we'll get started standing. So just having a soft bend of the knees. Start to circle the shoulders up and back. This will be a video where there's not quite as much instruction, just sort of using mirror neurons, seeing what I'm doing, allowing the body to follow, and circling the other way. It's also hard to do without music for me. I'm used to having a beat, so I'll just sort of experiment with this together. From here, just circling the right and left, right and left. You can bounce if you'd like. Moving forward. And please feel free to have your own playlist on in the background so it's not these awkward silences, because there's definitely going to be points where I cannot speak during this class. And back. You can bring an elbow into it. Making it a little bit bigger, a little bit more dynamic here. Moving forward. As you circle back, you can reach the arm up. Allow the shoulders to twist slightly. Moving the opposite direction. Starting with both arms up, see if you can move opposite directions. Both swinging at the same time. And opposite. Let's start to move the feet a little bit more. Let's step and reach across. Reaching up overhead. Stretching through the side of the body, pointing the opposite toe. And reach across. Up and over. Pausing over here, let's lift the leg up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Other side, up, up and down, up and down, up and down. Doing that back and forth. Reaching up, coming into this retire, or if you're more yoga, sort of like a tree pose. Eight more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Taking a moment, seeing how your body's feeling. You can walk it out a little bit. Start to make our way down onto all fours. Just moving the shoulders here, start to drop the collarbone and squeeze your scapula together. And push down, spreading the shoulders across your back. Keep your ribs as contained as possible. Just the shoulders are moving. Dropping and pushing. I'm trying to exaggerate this a little bit. Let's keep that pushing sensation. Start to walk your feet back into plank. Always the option to have your knees touching down on the floor. Breathing here, holding here, looking slightly forward of your fingers rather than dipping the head down. Lifting the back of your skull up towards the sky or the ceiling behind you. And let's lower down. One elbow and the other, and right back up. Starting with one elbow lowering first. One more. And switch whichever arm you were just using, use the opposite one to lower down first. Two more. Last one. And hold. And starting to lower down onto the forearms and hold here. Hands can be pressing down into the floor or you can clasp. Take breaks as you need. Knees can always be down on your mat. And from here, if your knees are lowered, you can stay there or start to drop right and left, right and left. Pushing through the shoulders still, elbows grounding down into the floor as you march your knees out. Eight more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Press back up and hold. Keep pushing through the elbows. Start to come onto the outer edges of your foot. Dip the hip and up. Dip and lift. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold. Start to soften the hips down to the floor. Pull the chest forward. Stretching through the belly. Keep pulling the elbows back, chest forward. Let's come to bring the hands in by your ribs, elbows slightly come in towards each other, pressing the tops of your feet into the floor. Pull your hands. From here you can lift the hands away from the floor. From here, reach your elbows forward and pull back. Up and up. That's 4, 5, let's do 16. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Hands come down, let's push back into a brief child's pose. Hips towards your heels, soften your head down into the floor. Knees can be open or closed here, arms reaching forward or back. Start to push through your hands, curl your toes underneath, coming up into downward facing dog. Take a moment to just walk through the heels here. Shift your weight side to side. Move the hips. My hands are sweating and they're slipping on my mat. And let's reach the right leg up high. Bring it in towards your right upper arm. Lift it up and down. Switch sides, leg up towards the upper arm, up and lower. Right, in, up and down. Left comes up, in, up and down. Up, tap, lift and lower. Lift it up, tap, up and down. One more each side. Last one on the left. And let's change it up. Lift it up, twist it across to the left arm, up and down. Left comes up, twist to the right, up and down. Lifting, twisting, up and down. Lift, twist, lift it up and down. Two more each leg. Last one. Walk the hands forward and let the head bow. You can grab opposite elbows here. Swaying a little bit side to side. With a heavy head, let's roll up to stand, keeping the knees nice and soft. Grabbing a sip of water as you need, just sort of breathing it out. Start to make our way more into legs. If you have 1 to 2 pound weights, you can feel free to do that. I'm not. Not today, I only have 5 pound weights, and that's gonna be really hard. So, we're gonna come to first position. So you can start with your feet parallel, heels in towards each other touching. Walk one foot out to the side, moving from the entire leg, so not just moving your foot, but moving your foot, ankle, knee, and hip all in one long piece. So opening up, opening the other side up. You don't need to worry about having the widest first position ever, just having the heels in towards each other. Hands can stay by your sides. Hands can be on your hips the entire time. You can choose to lower them. We're gonna try to hold them out to the side. If you're getting tired in the arms but you don't want to lower, you can also bring the hands up overhead, either straight up or sort of rounded like that classical ballerina shape. So I'll start with our arms out to the side. Pressing down into the floor with your heels, squeezing your legs. So I'm imagining that everything's turning out and back, so everything's spinning back. My glutes are super engaged. Everything in my legs are just, they're activating. I'm pressing, pressing, pressing down and spiraling back. From here, we're going to imagine that we're in between 2 walls. So we don't tip forward, bums don't tip back. We also don't want hips coming a little too far forward, seeing what the knees are doing. So knees keep pressing back. What we're gonna do is lower down and up. So bum stays in, spine stays nice and long, and up. Moving into that invisible wall space. Sorry, imagining you're in between that invisible wall space. There's nowhere you can go forward or back. Ribs are knitted in, core is engaged. Just warming up through the ankles here, pressing down and up. Lowering down, squeeze everything up. Lowering and lifting, lower down and up. This time lower and pulse. I hope you have good tunes going on for this. This will be going on for a little while, guys. Pulsing down. Keep the ribs contained, keep your hips underneath you, keep pressing your knees back, back, back in space. Arms stay nice and lifted and engaged. Imagine you're lifting from the support of your entire upper back. Lift your right heel up. Lower down. Left heel comes up. Lowering down. This is where it might get a little challenging. Test yourself. You can grab onto a chair or counter if you need to. We're going to lift both heels up and pulse. Lower down. One more time, up. Pushing the heels forward in space and down. Press the legs up. You can reach your arms up or keep them out to the side. Start to lift your heels up halfway and all the way, halfway down, all the way down. So just halfway up, halfway down, nice and controlled. Four more. That's one. That's two. That's three. That's four. Lift it all the way up and down. Up and down. Keep pressing your heels forward as you lower. Keep squeezing the legs. Soften your shoulders. On this next one, hold your heels up. Keep squeezing, find a nice stationary place to find your balance. It's okay if there's wobbles or if you need to come down and up again. Lower everything down. Shake the legs out. We're going to be doing a similar thing in second position after that. So getting ready, we'll stretch everything out after that. So second position, the feet will still be turned out so toes are pointed out to the side rather than right in front of you. Stepping out into a wide position. If again, yoga is more familiar to you. We're coming into sort of like a goddess position, really embodying that feminine, divine energy. Okay, mentally preparing myself. Arms can come out to the sides, up overhead, or be down on your hips. Start to lower the hips. Same thing goes, we're still in between those two walls. The thighs keep pressing back. Core is still engaged, everything is squeezing in the legs, firing everything up. Just seeing how everything feels a little bit wider as we do these very similar positions. Pliés. On this next one, as we lower, we're going to sit and hold and pulse. Press down through your heels. Keep pressing your knees and your thighs back in space. Keep your chest lifted. There's going to be a tendency to want to stick the booty out and bring the chest forward. Lift everything up. We're going to switch over to the right here. Start to turn into a lunge. Arms can be in front of you. And start to straighten the back leg and lower. Lift and lower. Lifting and lowering. Lift and lower. Four more. Up and down. Up, down. Up, down. Last one. Up and down. Open back to center and pulse. Let's go over to the left. Find your lunge here and start to straighten the back leg and lower. Lift, lower. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Back to second. And pulse. Knees pressed back. Heels ground down. Arms lift up. Or not. Breathing here. Final stretch. Whew. Okay, let's lower and hold for 4. Breathing for 3, 4, 2, and 1. Stretch it up. And just shake it out. Pretend all that just never even happened. If you come to a wall or just anywhere where you can grab onto a surface, bring the heel in towards your seat. Try to keep your knees side by side here. Stretch it out. And switching sides. Drawing the leg up, heel in towards your seat. This is another one where you'll feel more of a stretch where rather than flaring the ribs, try to keep everything nice and tall through the spine. And lower down. We'll make our way to a seated position. Coming down onto your forearms. Keep your elbows in underneath your shoulders as much as you can. And we'll start to lift both legs up, finding sort of a parallel position with your shins to the ceiling. And let's straighten the right leg out and in. Switching. So when one leg is moving, the other is nice and still. I'm going to try not to talk too much throughout this. Please have some music playing so it's not just both of us sitting here dying in awkward silence. Now start to bicycle. Both legs moving at once, circling it out. Bring both knees in and out. In, out. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, squeeze it in. Lifting the right leg up, lower it down, lift it up, bend it in. The leg doesn't have to be straight. Lift and lower, back up and in. Let's speed that up. Up, lower, up and in. Try not to use momentum as you lift it up. Out, up, down and in. Out, up and in. Right leg, left leg. Let's do 4 more each side. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. Lift both legs up, lower, up, and in. Just 4 of these. That's 2. 1 more. Okay, bend the knees, slide your hands down towards your heels. Let's just take a moment before we finish this workout up. Find your breath. Find this last spurt of energy. We've got this. Once again, you can take breaks if you need to. If you're like, I am done, just stay on your back. Chill out. If you feel the need to, you can walk it out. If you're going to continue with me, we're going to press our heels down into the floor, roll the hips up towards the ceiling. Keep your thighs slightly in together rather than letting them splay apart. Let's just start off, we're gonna circle the hips. So circling just one direction, probably the way that you're more keen to go. You can allow the thighs to come out a little bit, but try to keep everything slightly into center. Let's roll the opposite way. Really press your hips up to the sky at the top. Pressing up, let's lift the right leg up. Bring it down in front of you so that your knees are side by side. Lift up, lower down. Left leg up, lower knee side by side, up and down. 3 more each leg. That's 1, 2 more. Last one, up, lower, up and down. Up, lower, down. Soften the hips down to the floor, nice and slow. Walk your feet out wide, letting your knees drop one way. You can pause there or just windshield wiper right away over to the other side. You can let your head drift the opposite direction of your knees. Drawing your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a hug, either wrapping around the front of the shins or behind the thighs. Arms also have the option to just be out of the way off to the side. Just do a brief twist here. Arms can come out bent or straight to the side. Let both knees fall over one direction. Coming into any variation of your twist here, the front leg, your top leg can be straight if you'd like, or wrapped around. Coming through center, dropping over the opposite side. Drawing up through center, just finding any last movements that you feel would complete your workout today. This could also be your warm-up for a yoga practice. If you want to check out one of my other videos, you can go ahead and go into that. Maybe a gentle half, that could be good. If you're finishing your practice today, I highly recommend giving yourself a little bit of rest. Shavasana or some other restorative posture. Knees can be bent straight, dropping to the side, knees knocking in together. You can be on your stomach, seated meditation, or anything else you can think of. Allowing the body to soften down into whatever surface is beneath you. Finding a deeper connection with yourself as one with the earth. Bringing your attention to any part of your body that's in contact with the earth. And as each breath comes out through your nose, imagining yourself softening a little bit further down into the dirt. Listening to your breath and feeling a little bit more at one with the wind, with the air. Feeling the residue of this fiery, stoking, warm, hot maybe even feeling as we start to cool down. Notice any heat that you build up throughout this practice. Noticing if you maybe sweat a little bit, becoming a little bit more one with the water, the ocean, with the lake, with the saltiness of the sea. Combining all of these elements, acknowledging how they exist within us and outside of us. Spending as much time here as you'd like. And when you're ready, finishing your practice, taking time to thank yourself for exercising, for moving your body. Thank you for joining me today.